Across Europe, coronavirus lockdowns have largely emptied the streets to reduce the chances of person-to-person infection. In Paris, residents face a $150 fine if caught outside without good reason. Exercise is permitted, even encouraged, but new restrictions have been imposed along the River Seine and around the Eiffel Tower.
We are at the start of this crisis, as I have reminded the French people in the beginning of this week. We put in place measures to absorb this first wave. It's a race against the virus.
Despite nearly 2 weeks in lockdown, Italy has seen the numbers dead and infected hitting record new highs. People are only allowed out for work, medical reasons or emergencies, and those allowances are expected to be made even tighter this weekend. This is just a snapshot of life in central London, but compared to the lockdowns in France and Italy, the difference is striking. Shops are still open, people are still walking around, driving around. Each and every contact, an opportunity for the virus to spread.
I have a message for young people. You're not invincible. Even if you don't get sick, the choices you make about where you go could be the difference between life and death for someone else.
Until now, restrictions in the UK have been advisory rather than compulsory. But an order for schools to shut finally has come into effect, and the gates will not reopen on Monday. At his latest daily coronavirus briefing, the Prime Minister's guidance to leisure venues became a closure order.
We are collectively telling cafes, pubs, bars and restaurants to close tonight as soon as they reasonably can, and not to open tomorrow.
Newly published documents hint at the struggle ahead. The UK government's latest scientific advice makes sobering reading. SAGE has warned the government that a combination of case isolation, household isolation and social distancing of vulnerable groups is very unlikely to prevent critical care facilities being overwhelmed. Adding general social distancing and school closures to the mix would probably work if kept in place for a long period. How long? The government has been warned that to be effective, a policy of alternating between more and less strict measures would need to be in place for at least most of a year. Around the world, governments are enacting emergency powers, imposing draconian restrictions and confining whole populations in their homes. And there is no imminent exit strategy. Paul Brennan, Al Jazeera.